Again. That's the one-word headline from today's cover of the New York Post. The party of joy, joy, joy has once again inspired yet another assassination attempt on the life of President Trump. After deliberately turning him into history's greatest monster, after declaring that he inspired the single worst attack on American democracy since the Civil War, worse than Pearl Harbor, worse than 9/11, another lunatic attempted to take his life. And the legacy media, they're desperately trying to spin this as all Trump's fault. You can't make this stuff up. We're going to see what's really going on with the media's spin and why it reeks of panicked desperation on the part of the Democrats. Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you stay sane in these insane times. So let me encourage you to smack that bell and subscribe button. You're not going to want to miss a single episode where we analyze the latest polls and trends as we march towards November. Plus, we get a front row seat of some pretty amazing things happening all over the world for conservatives. So again, make sure you smack that bell and subscribe. But before we dive into things here, gang, let me ask you, what do you think you could do if you had the same insider trading information that Nancy Pelosi has, right? And you know exactly what I'm talking about here. Politicians like Pelosi have had access to insider trading secrets for decades now. They know exactly what stocks to buy and when to buy them. But guess what? You and I actually have access to that very same inside information as well. Thanks to a little-known SEC database, we can see what and when corporate CEOs are buying up in real time, and then we get to piggyback on their trades to gain the same advantage for ourselves. Gang, that's why you have got to click on that link below and sign up for a free training with me and my good friend Ross Givens. It's this Thursday, September 19th at 3 p.m. Eastern. Ross is an insider trading expert whose recommendations have led to investment returns of over 200%. Some have hit as high as nearly 1,500%. It's going to be an amazing free training where you and I can learn how to trade with the same exact insider knowledge as these politicians have, but we're going to do it legally and ethically. But don't wait. Seating registration is limited, so click on that link below right now and register today, and I'll see you for an event that promises to change your life. Click on that link below right now. Trump's response to what happened over the weekend was absolutely epic. Quote, "My resolve is only stronger after another attempt on my life. I will never slow down. I will never give up. I will never surrender. I thank God every day for having supporters like you on my side. On November 5th, we will make America great again. May God bless you, Donald J. Trump." He is indeed only stronger as a result of this weekend, and that explains so much of how the legacy media is responding. First, here's what we know so far. It has indeed been confirmed that President Trump has survived a second assassination attempt. This time it was at his international golf club in West Palm Beach, Florida. I've actually been on that golf course. I'm not much of a golfer, but I attempted to play this is when I met Trump at Mar-a-Lago last November. I went golfing on that course. It's absolutely beautiful. But like the serpent entering into the primordial garden, it almost became the scene of a horrific catastrophe. The FBI has confirmed that approximately 1:30 p.m. on Sunday, Secret Service noticed a man behind a fenced-off area from the golf course pointing a rifle with a scope. Turns out it was an AK-47 in the direction of President Trump. Once again, I want to emphasize that, once again, a gunman was only a few hundred yards away. He was reportedly only 300 to 500 yards away from Trump. Shots were apparently fired in his direction by Secret Service agents. The suspect fled the scene, jumping into a black Nissan when he was eventually apprehended by the Martin County Sheriff's Office. The suspect has been identified as Ryan Wesley Routh. His social media profile on both Facebook and X, before both got scrubbed, interestingly enough, showed that he was an avid Democrat supporter. He was a radical activist for pro-Ukraine causes, and there are records of several donations from him to left-wing causes. Again, before X took down his profile, a number of users were able to screenshot some posts he made directed at Biden, like this one. Your campaign should be called something like CADAF, Keep America Democratic and Free. Trump should be Massa, making Americans slaves again. Democracy is on the ballot, and we cannot lose. We cannot afford to fail. The world is counting on us to show the way. Now, astonishingly, even though this fellow, Ryan Wesley Routh, is explicitly parroting Democrat and legacy media talking points there, Lester Holt of NBC News, the one who actually said that the news media has a moral obligation to no longer present both political sides fairly and equally, yeah, that guy, true to form, appeared to blame the shooting on Donald Trump.
Today's apparent assassination attempt comes amid increasingly fierce rhetoric on the campaign trail itself. Mr. Trump, his running mate J.D. Vance continue to make baseless claims about Haitian immigrants in Ohio. This weekend, there were new bomb threats in that town. Our Maggie Vespa is in Columbus, Ohio, with more.
Lester, simply put, Springfield, Ohio has been inundated by threats over the last several days, closing government buildings, schools, hospitals. Today, effectively closing a local university campus after administrators said someone threatened a mass shooting targeting Haitians. This in light of, officials say, a false online conspiracy theory alleging Haitian immigrants in that city are eating people's pets.
Now, the level of hypocrisy here, I mean, the blatant double standard, the total lack of any self-awareness on the part of NBC is absolutely breathtaking. Not only are they basically claiming that Trump brought this on himself by virtue of his own rhetoric, they fail to even remotely grasp how such an assertion ends up only indicting them for the very violence that their rhetoric inspired. Even after the first assassination attempt, the left has repeatedly referred to as Trump as the next Hitler, or a threat to democracy, or the primary spreader of fascism and an existential danger to the nation. In fact, just hours before the second assassination attempt, Democrat Representative Jasmine Crockett basically called Trump a domestic terror threat.
This guy doesn't understand who our friends are, and he also doesn't understand who we are as a nation, which we are a country of immigrants, and the demonization of any group of people, whether it's black folk and saying, you know what, we need to go out and make sure that officers have immunity to just go ahead and kill them criminally, or whether we're talking about those that he says, oh, all of the Hispanics that are coming in, they're going to rape your children. Listen, the problem isn't the people coming in. The problem is this guy and his people here that are doing the bomb threats throughout our country. Domestic terrorism is a real thing, and he is the guy that stokes it.
Now, again, she's cluelessly oblivious to the self-defeating, self-negating nature of her own words. If violent rhetoric breeds violent acts, what do you think calling Trump a domestic terror threat is going to do? If the Democrats and the legacy media's axiom that violent rhetoric leads to acts of violence, if that's in fact true, then they're just as guilty of perpetuating that principle as those they project that guilt onto. Again, this guy Routh explicitly spewed out their own talking points that Trump was an existential threat to our democracy. And yet, it fails to occur to them that as they constantly harp on J6 and the evils of racism and bigotry and xenophobia in Springfield, Ohio, they may have just slightly ceded that moral high ground, given the fact that no one is now trying to kill Kamala. They are the ones, or better, their own ilk are the ones who are repeatedly trying to assassinate someone. It's hard to plausibly occupy a moral high ground when members of your own movement keep trying to kill people. Now, look, this isn't hard. We know why they're doing this. The legacy media and the Democrats are panicking that no matter what they do, no matter how much they attempt to fabricate the glitz and glam for Kamala, she simply can't get a poll bounce. You may have seen this. We'll talk about this in a later video today. But the number one most accurate pollster of 2020, Atlas Intel, is giving Trump a 3-point national lead. So this is a poll that just dropped over the weekend, and it's absolutely stunning the Kamala campaign. I mean, we've all been hearing rumors that her internal polling is a disaster, particularly in swing states. But this Atlas Intel, I mean, again, the single most accurate pollster of 2020, they polled the election to within the margin of error back in 2020. They're now showing Trump in landslide territory. And now with yet another thwarted assassination attempt, the Democrats are only going to implode from here. That's why they're doing absolutely everything they possibly can to try to blame this on Trump. But in doing so, they're only indicting themselves and their own violent rhetoric. It's not going to work, and they know it. And like number 45 himself said, this yet again thwarted assassination attempt will only make Trump all the stronger.